Honkai Star Rail has been releasing nothing but banger after banger for units. However, there's a lot to consider when it comes to whether or not you should really be pulling for everybody. With up to 3 new characters per patch and 2 reruns, it starts to feel unrealistic to be able to obtain them all. So, we have to think with our heads and not our hearts sometimes, and that's where the value of "is this unit worth investing in" comes into play. You have to begin thinking of the value that a character brings to the table. What makes them have a longer lifespan for your account? Will this improve on the teams that I've currently been building? What reruns should I consider down the line? Let's find that out together in this video. Would definitely appreciate if you could take the time to subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Join me on this journey for 2024, and I'd love to see you all again soon. Also, comment down below what team comps are you preparing for in the future. Now, let's get back to the video. When it comes to your investment in a character, there's a checklist that should cross your mind. This kind of checklist helps to see and understand what exactly you're looking for in terms of your account. Here's some questions that I ask myself when it comes to summoning for a unit, and the way I'll be mentioning afterwards what characters I do believe are worth that investment. This includes, what value does a character add to my account? Can they be used in various team compositions? Do they enable a different type of gameplay for my account? How replaceable is this unit in a situation? As a disclaimer, while this may work for me, your way of thinking may be different. There's a lot of ways to judge a value of a character for your account, and for the most part, most people will be summoning for characters based on whether they like them or not. My goal is to be able to help newcomers think through the options we have in our endless sea of characters, and allow for them to just consider some few and very viable options that can lead to their overall accounts improving. With that, let's go into a few characters that do cover this ground and talk about each of them for a brief moment. Ruan Mei is our newest addition to the roster, and is the #1 unit that crosses my mind when it comes to investment value. Ruan Mei is a harmony support who can give your team overall damage, grant your team with a speed boost, increase your team's weakness efficiency, and also grants an all-type penetration resistance. Everything about this character points back to her just being a great unit, but Kilios, won't they just add better harmony supports that can do what she does? Well, then I guess you'll just have to have 2 Ruan Meis, one for each team, or both for one team. That's the kind of character she is. It's not just the bonus damage, it's delaying action units. It's using a stat that doesn't see much use as break effect. It's allowing for toughness break to be broken for a second turn. Everything this character does is just insanely good. And sure, she may be a little psychotic, but crazy is workable, and I can fix her. You know who else is insane? Xuan. I couldn't believe it when she released and they let that character go through without even batting an eye. She's a preservation unit that can redirect damage done to the team onto herself. Along with that, her Matrix of Prescience also gives your team more max HP while also increasing their crit rate. Oh yeah, let's not forget about her ultimate that heals the team for a portion of her max health, albeit it's low, but it does help keep the team alive. Her ultimate also gives a stack for her talent, which allows the team to take even less damage when it's being redirected to her, and when she goes below 50% health, she'll restore her own health. Doesn't that sound insane? She can do small damage, she can increase the team's health and crit rate, she can self-sustain, and she can heal the party. Xuan is everything Dea from Genshin Impact wishes she could have been. And I'm still sad about my girl Dea. Why'd they have to do her so dirty? Next up, let's talk about some gameplay enablers, starting with Kafka. Kafka's one of these characters where I hear some mixed opinions about her, but there's no doubting her ability. She is the damage over time enabler. And right now, she's waiting for her missing piece of the puzzle to feeling like a completed character. She's one of those characters that you'd consider future-proof, where her gameplay revolves around more than just herself, and she's able to bring a core gameplay functionality through her kit, that being dot explosions. Kafka has many 4-star dot damage dealers in her arsenal, and while they are great, they aren't some of the best options she has. Whenever we get that 5-star nihility dot damage dealer that can coincide with Kafka, dot teams will become more and more powerful and have a lot more to show. With Black Swan being a 5-star nihility wind damage dealer in the works, I'm hoping that she ends up being this missing piece to the puzzle. And for more reasons than one. Like, have you seen this design? This character's like actually perfect. Speaking of gameplay enablers, the other character I wanted to bring up is Topaz. Topaz was one of those characters that people regarded as a skippable character, but the problem with Topaz was she didn't truly have any real partners that could fully utilize her kit, and with the introduction of Dr. Ratio, which we get for free, make sure to claim them in the second half of the patch. They are very great partners for one another. Topaz and Numby, a dynamic duo specializing in follow-up attacks. The potential flaw came from her ability just being single target, but let me tell you, it's far from that. An unconditional debuff that grants the user up to a 50% bonus damage if a follow-up attack is used is, for lack of better words, absolutely nutty. You lose nothing for it being there on the enemy, and you gain so much more for playing around it. Every time a follow-up is triggered on this enemy that has this debuff, Numby's action advances by 50%. This means that every 2 times this occurs, Numby gets another turn to attack, and attack he will. This pairing does incredibly well together, and the damage you'll see because of it is also insane at that. And this is just the beginning. Doctor Ratio's the start for allowing Topaz to be able to take advantage of her rest of her kit. Numby's going to get better and better the more follow-up attackers you have on the team. The more actions he has, the more damage he'll be doing overall. You may look at this list of characters I brought up and think to yourself, there's something missing. There's quite a few things missing, actually. Damage dealers primarily being one of them. Damage dealers are a pick-your-own-flavor kind of adventure. The thing I have with damage dealers is, they're great for you to pick up as you need it for your account, but the first thing you're going to replace when something new comes around are those damage dealers. Your Jingli Yu, your Imbibitor Lunae, even your Argenti, they're all really great damage dealers. I'd say it's worth going for them. But all it takes is a new flavor of the month to show up, and now they're the ones doing better and better. Now, that being said, a lot of our current top damage dealers are very overtuned, so their current shelf life's a bit high, so take this with a grain of salt. Newer players have it the hardest. You're in this constant state of catch-up, and you need to really plan your pulls ahead of time because a lot of these characters you may want, you're in this waiting period for them to show up. And this isn't also considering that they're releasing new characters on top of that. Your currency is limited. You can easily swipe to get everything you want, but a lot of the fun also comes from building around what characters you do have available. Think about what a character can do for you, and summon based on that. There is always the world of you pulling for what you want because you can, and that's also totally fine. At the end of the day, whatever makes your experience in these games enjoyable is what matters the most. And that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for watching. This is a bit of a different than normal video, but it felt like a good thing to do. As always, would love if you could subscribe, and if you got any feedback to give, would love if you could comment them down below. Good luck on the future of your accounts. Till next time, peace.